Not a problem. We'll get together. I said we'll get together. Call to order the, let's see, what is today? February 11th, 2019 Transportation Committee meeting. All members are present. I'd like to welcome a new Vice Chair, Dempsey Lambert. I'd like to welcome Bill Dawson and Benny Johnson. And I'm proud to still be serving with Todd Lambert on this. But we'll move on to the invocation and the pledge. Councilman Todd Lambert will take the invocation.
Thank you, Lord, for allowing us to be here tonight to make decisions on our highways, to make them a safer place to be and travel from one place to another. Give us the wisdom to make the right decisions. We ask this in your name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If anyone from the public would like to comment, you have 3 minutes. Please fill out a card and bring it up here, and you'll be allowed to speak for 3 minutes. Committee Chairman's report. I have nothing to add. We've been doing a Chairman's report at the first council meeting of every month, and we'll continue to do that. So it's a great place to hear our Chairman's report. Moving on to item number 5, acceptance of minutes of the January 7th, 2018 meeting. We have a motion by Councilman Dempsey Lambert, a second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Any discussion? None. None. So moved. Item number 6, roads to be considered for acceptance into the parish maintenance system. We can do all these at once if you like to move it along. Since we've...
Okay. You want to go? You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Silver Oaks Drive, 1,303 feet, .37. Legacy Oaks subdivision, second file, and we got Legacy Lake Drive, 2,868.63 feet. Legacy Oak Lane, 1,457.63 feet.
Motion.
We have a motion by Councilman Todd Lambert.
Second.
And a second by Councilman Bill Dawson. Any discussion? None. Any objection? None. So moved. Department report by Mike Enlow. Tacy Rabelais, thank you.
Good evening. We just have a few things that are going on right, as of the first of the year. The first thing, the 2018 road maintenance package. RJ Daigle is finishing up their last task. I have a list here of what they've done and what they have left to do. Jeanette, I went out there and they're pulling shoulders today, so they should be finished with that tomorrow or Wednesday. Then they'll be moving on to, they're going to finish up Bill Morgan, which is off of 42, if y'all aren't really familiar where that is. And those are the 2 complete reconstructions that they did on their last task. The only other work they have some concrete patching to be done on Industrial Boulevard, and then some striping work. Curb on more stripe and striping work, and I've listed the roads that they're going to be doing striping work on, and you'll see that at the bottom. I also attached Table A that basically outlines each of their 4 tasks and what the work that was included on those. The biggest changes that we're looking at right now, the 2019 overlay project, it's advertising right now, so we're hoping to have that contract awarded and signed by the middle of March, maybe a little bit closer to the end of March. So hopefully we'll be starting construction starting work related to that contract probably the 1st of April or so. But we're looking forward to getting that one underway as well. I'm also planning on getting with Ms. Jones with purchasing to start advertising for our new pavement preservation contract. This will be the first year that we're putting one of those out. We're really looking forward to getting that one in place. That contract, whomever the low bidder is, will be able to help the parish catch up to where we need to be as far as the preventative maintenance type measures, that being chip seals, crack sealing, thin lift overlays, and fog seals. So that's the biggest things that we've got going on right now. I've also attached the DOTD projects and highlighted the projects that have active construction going on right now. So if y'all want to take a look at those projects, then I'll be happy to answer whatever questions that I can for you. And that's really all I have for this month. Hopefully next month we'll have a lot more to talk about.
If you'd like to take a look at all the DOTD projects, I'll entertain any questions. I won't entertain them.
Yeah, I wanted to add one thing. As you all know, our in-house pavement management group has been doing a lot of the preventative maintenance stuff. That we, as of last year, we increased the budget for them to do that. But the one we're going out for bid for is to do larger scale projects. So, but they've been doing a great job. Boxcar and his group have been. I think he's got some guys that are learning this stuff. But one of the operators, Mike Beck, has been helping out tremendously, and they've got it down to a pretty good artwork here. And I think William Ficklin's one. Benny, I think you've seen it, the chip seal and with the interlayer. So. We're looking forward to start, kind of keeping an eye on those and see how long they last. So, you see something pop up, let us know.
Will do, thank you.
As far as the preventive maintenance goes, are we going to create like an objective standard as to what roads need, or do we have? I thought HNTB may have done some work in the past.
Yes, they did. We have in 2016, before the flood, the CRPC, we went under the contract with them to come up with a pavement condition index. They had some technology. They ride the roads and scan them, and they come up with a number, and they index it. So we have that. I think they're going to do it. They're trying to do it every 3 years. So it's coming up, I think, this summer, and I'll be anxious to look at that index compared to 2016 because we got it right before the flood. So it'll be interesting to look at it from that aspect. But they were also able to use that criteria along with the usage of the roads and those types of things to program out over the course of I think 3 to 5 years with a certain amount of money. They were able to program it out and budget for the 3 to 5 years. So what HNTB did was kind of do the same thing, and then kind of organize it even further for us to go out and start looking at our in-house group to start doing some of the things in-house, smaller tasks that they could kind of take care of with these maybe dead-end roads and try to see what's working and what's maybe not. So
Okay, yeah, I like how you said if we could tie it in to an index of usage and cross-reference it with usage, maybe schools, that sort of thing. So make sure we're not just hitting the worst roads, but we want to hit the worst roads that are highly used.
absolutely. We've got a lot. There's a lot of everywhere. In the country, they have a lot of bad roads, but the ones that aren't being used that maybe aren't as much of a priority as the ones that there's a lot of usage on. So it makes sense.
Councilman Lambert?
I did want to say, Councilman, that here up to now, I really think that the road maintenance has been superb. However, I expect to see a decrease over the next 4 to 6 weeks because Mr. Boxcar will not be able to kick people in the rear to get them going like he has been able to. So if you see a slight drop off, that'll be what it's attributed to.
We'll pick that up. Pavement crew.
Yes.
Apparently,
Apparently,
he's still gonna be available.
Oh, yeah.
yes. You just limp around in circles. Councilman Lambert, Todd Lambert.
No, I'm good.
Oh, I thought you had.
No, I'm good.
Did you have something
Yeah.
different? Go ahead.
Yeah, please. And back to Jeanette, I want to thank, that was both, we worked with drainage and R.J. Daigle. I really appreciate the work on that. And also on Bill Morgan. That was a long stretch, and I think they finishing up, making the last run today on it. So really appreciate all the work and everyone working together on that. So thank you for that.
And I just want to add also that, talking about the Highway 42 projects, we get a lot of calls from people along Highway 42 talking about the entrances to their subdivisions. We report these to the state and to Barbara Brothers. They get to it when they can. But, it looks like they're still ahead of schedule. They got 43.99% completed on here. and with a time lapse of 37.32%. I have been talking to some people, some of the individuals working at Barber Brothers, and they said, you know, we're in a stage where it's going to cause a little more headache down the road.
Right.
And everybody that uses 42 has got to understand that what they're going to be doing in the future, in the near future, next couple of months, is tearing up that middle lane. So there'll be less opportunity to make a left turn. It's going to be really limited. It's going to cause some issues. I'm just asking everybody to be very patient with it, because it's not an easy process that we're about to go through, but hopefully in the long run, it will pay off tremendously.
Yeah, I was expecting a little bit of a delay because of the extra culvert they were going to have to put in Muddy Creek, but I don't know if the time isn't showing up as of yet, but they've got it dug out and they're installing them, so I'm hoping they'll still stay ahead of schedule.
Move on.
If there's any other questions on the regular report, or if there are no other questions, I can move into the move ascension.
Yeah, why don't you move and move Ascension? I think we're good.
Okay. All right, as we've done before, this is a tabulation of the consultant design, contract design consultants and their projects. I'd like for you to turn to the third page. I want to go into maybe some more meat. Roman numeral 3, the clearing grubbing projects to be let in 2019. You'll see Roddy Road, that's both segments, US 61 to 935 and 935 to 621. We're expecting that to go into clearing and grubbing. Henry Road widening and LA 930 widening. With the clearing and grubbing on 930, and Henry will also take care of other 2 roundabouts at Henry Road at 930 and as well as 929 and 930. So we're really excited about those. We've got right-of-way acquisitions that are ongoing. Roddy Road, Segment 1, 935 to 621, it was around 68 parcels. I think we have 2 that may have to go into expropriations on for various issues, not necessarily because they won't sell, just there's some legal issues that it's just going to be a lot quicker to go into expropriation. We're getting underway on the first segment, whatever you want to call it, US 61 to 935. Into that segment, we're hoping to get the right-of-way done in 2 months, 2 to 3 months. Henry Road is underway as well, and then you can see the various roundabouts, Seabro widening, and the US 61 Jeremy Road intersection improvements, which is another exciting one for us. I get a lot of calls, I'm sure. Councilman Johnson, you get a lot of calls as well about that intersection. It can't come quick enough. So we're working with DOTD. We're going to have to do the signal changes, put in new mast arms. We had to pay for all that, so that's just some of the things we're going through. I think it's in final design, so we'll be getting right away shortly on that. Any questions on that stuff?
I've got a couple questions.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to yield to Councilman Dawson.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Michael, I wanted to look at this at number 7, Roman numeral 7. And these are, you have this labeled as potential construction projects let in 2019. So these are all ready for bids, or what are they, do they have?
No, we can be pretty confident in every facet of work except for utility relocations. That's the big one, because we're going to be asking 5 to 7 companies to budget out moving their utilities. So these are the ones that we're their potential to let in 2019. Now you'll see.
So
that
what do you include the moving the utilities in the construction, or is that pre-construction activities? What is utilities classified as? Moving utilities.
It's pre-construction letting. We're doing this in clearing grubbing phase and then construction. So yeah, I guess it could be part of the. They're separate.
So when you say
contracts with
construction projects let in 2019, those would be whatever it is, about nine roads that should really have the construction starting. That doesn't mean that they're going to start the utilities relocation. Is that, or what am I misunderstanding here?
Utilities will be moved on those before the construction. So
So do you know what's keeping us from doing? Is it mostly utilities relocating? Does this mean all the engineering work is done on this and the right-of-way acquisition is done on these?
So that's two questions. Seabro Road is going into final design. Henry Road is almost through final design. We'll start acquiring right-of-way next month. We've done some pre-right-of-way work, on that, getting information on the property owners. Germany Road is in final design. Turn lanes.
Well, what about right-of-way acquisition? Does
Comes
these,
right after final design. So once we get the right-of-way maps,
Come back and that's what I'm finding out. They still working on
we give that to the right-of-way acquisition team.
well, I mean, some of those, I thought we could do right-of-way acquisition before we had 100% engineering.
You can do some of the work, you can do some groundwork, but you can't, until you get the right-of-way, the final right-of-way maps from the engineer, the designer, in the hands of your right-of-way consultant, you can't really move forward. You don't know what you're buying until you get 100% finalized stamp plans.
I think you can
I think we
identify.
get an answer to that. We got a different answer every time I ask that question.
What day of the week?
So when they want you to do it, it's like 30%, at 30% design. I've been
So
told
if-
this, at 30% design, you can go acquire the right of way. Now I'm hearing you gotta go to 100%.
30% of, there's, so
Design.
there's, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So there's a DOTD construction, or project delivery schedule, and then there's, I think that's everybody else. So DOTD does preliminary and final, and then they do, I think, 30, 60, 90 preliminary, 30, 60, 90 final. So maybe where,
Can you acquire right of way at 30 at any point? I don't understand why you,
not with federal money, with local money, you may, but you're risking the project changing for any various reason.
okay.
I guess
So we don't have any right of way on any of these projects?
we've gotten
St.
almost
Landry.
all the projects on the first Roddy segment, and the next 2 months we'll have the rest of the properties along Roddy. And that's your biggest bulk. That's 120, 130 properties. The rest of them are intersections and roundabouts, which are, up maybe eight parcels, depending on how far the approach goes.
Where is that on this list?
So if you look at the very first spreadsheet, if you look
Oh,
at the,
I'm looking at these
Yeah,
potential
look on the
construction.
Right-of-way acquisition.
So are we gonna be able to do work on Roddy this year?
I believe so.
It's underway.
Absolutely. We've got the roundabout in between those two segments.
So if I looked at this number 7, let's just the first one here, St. Landry to Ashland Road connector. Do we have the right of way? Is there something lacking on that to start?
We have that. We're lacking one thing to get the DOTD permit, which is very minor. But other than that, we could go into construction. You're still discussing.
So when do you anticipate we'll let that for bids?
Hoping before the summer of this year. The turn lanes on 73 are coming very soon as well.
So we'll be able to let that soon?
And the Ashland Road, the Ashland Road, I'm sorry, one of the issues on the Ashland St. Landry was the DOTD is wanting the parish to pay for a left turn lane and a right turn lane from Ashland Road onto the new connector. We've already done the drainage design, and we're intending on doing that in-house along Ashland to satisfy the new drainage coming, roadway drainage coming to that road. But they're wanting us to construct those turn lanes within year 1 of operation.
Do we know how much that'll cost?
I think I have some figures. Jeff?
If you don't have it right in front of you, you can get it to us.
I think engineering was, I think total to do everything, we wouldn't have to purchase any right-of-way. That right-of-way is pretty wide there. I think utilities were okay. Probably several $100,000 to, upwards of $500,000-600,000, I would imagine.
I guess, just to summarize, number one, y'all have done a great job in the move ascension, and I wanted to comment here on the funding for this. So just to bring to everybody's attention that we put up a $25 million bond. We took another $10 million out of cash reserves, And we're gonna get $63 million worth of roads right now, almost 64 million. So, I mean, it's been a great project. I'm gonna put the but on the end of that. You know, if we don't have some asphalt and some cones and some road improvements,
Yes, sir.
it's, you know, we gotta make sure we follow these things through to the end where we actually have something people can drive their car on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I appreciate the comment. I think it's been a team effort, and we certainly appreciate your help as well. I would say that initially we started out with the immediate action projects and said we would get those into finished pre-construction by the end of the year. So pre-construction or design services were completed except for one. We're a couple months late on that, and we had some issues along Henry Road. We did some realignment, and we shortened or narrowed the road, the roadway there, and so they had to go in a little bit of redesign. But for the most part, those projects we told you all would be done in design services and in the right of way are completed. And there's a bunch more, as you can see, have been added to it, and I think we're gonna start showing y'all something here fairly shortly.
Something somebody can drive a car on?
Yes, sir.
Not engineering work.
Yes, sir. Maybe a
Thank you.
truck.
Thank you.
Maybe a truck, but
Thank you.
Councilman Lambert,
Yeah,
Todd
Mike,
Lambert.
Mike, Tiggy DePlessis is getting in real bad shape.
Yes.
How are we coming far as design on that? I see 50, Tiggy really doesn't have any kind of percentage of anything on it, really.
let's see.
Along with DePlessis Road, you know, being with all the businesses that they come on airline.
Yeah, so there, two separate issues. Let's go with Tiggy first. I think, you know, as of last week, I think they turned in 60% drawings on that as of last week. As you know, this report's a week old, so those are in review.
So can you give me just a timeline, maybe when you think that road might get to the,
Tiggy as soon as possible.
okay,
Okay, Duplessis is one that we put into the CRPC funding.
right.
So that's going to be 2021 at the earliest. Now,
Okay.
it looks like going to those meetings, CRPC tells you these are the dates you have for the funding. But if you're ready to leapfrog other projects in the region, that's why we're getting to that point. We're doing, a lot of times, municipalities won't even do the design work before the funding year comes up. But
So Tiggy pretty quick.
Tiggy as we can get to. There's nothing holding that up. As fast as our consultant can do the work, as fast as we can acquire right away, the funding's there.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
trying to explain that. Duplessis, the funding isn't going to be there for
Right.
those federal funds.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. That's all I got, Mr. Chairman.
And all the rest of the projects that don't have federal funds, I mean, we're full throttle. So I can sit down with you and go through.
I
know
just
you
get a
like
lot
to
of
see-
calls on Tiggy, and that's why
Absolutely.
I'd like something to give them my answer to.
Bill, I'm working on a real big, complex diagram for you you're going to like, so we're going to get something to you. Yeah,
Councilman-
it's big and nasty, it's got benefit, cost, and everything. I mean, it's great.
Councilman Dempsey Lambert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mike, on the, Highway 73 at, Oakland and, Brown Road.
Brown.
I mean, that's one of your main, your
Yes,
people
sir.
coming in and going out to Baton Rouge and all, coming up the back way from Old Jefferson. I see you're underway. When will these hit?
I think we're close to starting right-of-way acquisition. I want to say, this is a permit job for DOTD, and I think we're moving along. There's nothing from them holding us up. So,
So right away, so you're looking at utility, you got right away, you're looking at utility
I'm sorry, yeah,
next?
you move utilities and, we could, this year. Absolutely.
Would like to see that. I mean, that's,
Again, I can't stress enough, you work for a utility operator. I mean, we've been in touch with the utilities early and often. We've had sit-down meetings with them. We think all of them are on board. We have a few that maybe aren't understanding the magnitude of what we're about to hit them with, but we've gotten them plans when they asked. We've gotten preliminary plans, Some of them don't budget until they get a certain level of plan, a plan level. But we've hit them with it early and often, and you know, we intend to have a meeting with some of the top brass at each company to make sure they're fully aware that, you know, some of these utility relocation on Roddy, for instance, is gonna be quite a bit of money for them. You know, that's something they're gonna have to budget for. So, you know, it may come to some political pressure from you guys and maybe the PSC, but we're gonna try to not get to that point. But that's the biggest thing that I can't overstate. It's just that is going to be the biggest, you know, unknown is utility relocation.
Well, just being caught between the bridge and Highway 42 on Jefferson.
Right.
That is
It's nasty.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
So we have to do something, because most of these folks are just trying to make a left or right turn.
Right.
And it's causing backups all the way to Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Mike, they covered most everything. I guess, are we having any issues with some of our subs or our primes on this thing getting work to us in a timely fashion?
Everybody's been pretty good. Like I said, we've had some hiccups on a few projects. You know, a lot of that, Henry Road, I think, is going to be a better project because of some of the delays. We got to not go back to the drawing board, but initially we had 12-foot lanes, 4-foot shoulders. Well, that's too big. I mean, that's way too much of an increase in roadway right through there, especially with some of the stuff they have along Henry. So we were able to go back down to 11-foot lanes and 2-foot paved shoulders, which still allows you some correctable driving space to go through there. So I think it's going to be a much better road for it, and I think we're going to catch up on the overall schedule on that road through right-of-way acquisition. So everybody's been doing a pretty good job. Everybody's been very forthcoming, and you know, when we got started, there was a lot of design consultants that were hungry for work because of the lack of work coming out of DOTD. I still think that's probably the case, but we hit a sweet spot, and a lot of people have been able to hit the ground running on these projects. So I couldn't tell you of anything I'm unhappy with as of right now.
And I guess, and if you kind of hit around it, out of all the work we've got here, from a percentage, how much do you think we're going to be able to get started on this year?
Oh, gosh.
Kind of a loaded question, I know.
It is anywhere from, 15 to 75% of it. No, I'm kidding. I couldn't. It would be tough. I will update you.
I'll hold you to the 75%
Okay,
and make
all
that
right.
statement now.
Yeah. I'd love to update you every day, and I will do that if there's something to update you with. But on a lot of this stuff, Bro Road and Germany Roundabout, that's going to be one of the first projects we do. Well, we can do. We'll bring that to you guys and let you all have the ultimate say. But you know, that stuff that it's percolating faster is all I can say. It's easy right-of-way acquisition. It's not, these corridors we're working through. It's not Church Point Roundabout that has federal funding on it.
Right.
But there's just it's the local money. There was something I saw today that Jeff and I were talking about. If you look at the Highway 44 intersection improvements, which you're well aware of with the bridge.
Yeah.
I'm not sure when that was discussed, pre-design, preliminary, but they started survey beginning of 2013. In the middle of 2019, that'll be done. Those 5 intersection improvements in a bridge. All right. If you look at Roddy from 935 to 621, we started at the end of 2017 with survey. And we're looking at letting the clearing and grubbing at the first part of the summer of this year, with road construction, if utility cooperates, at the beginning of, at the end of 2019, letting of the road construction. So that's 4 years of from surveying to construction letting on the DOTD project, and one and a half years for us. So that shows you how important, I'm not going to say one's more important than the other. I think all the funding is important, but it just shows you how much more potent, local funding is. We're not doing it much different. You know, there's just a lot of less review time, and there's a lot of less people looking at these projects. So we're getting them cleared through environmental, just like the DOTD projects. They're just not going through a lot of people's desks, I guess, so.
Thank you.
Fewer hiccups, though. I don't like hiccups.
Yes, we're eliminating those.
Yeah, I've got a couple questions. Well, you know that, first of all, I want to tie into what Dempsey said about those turn lanes on 73. You know, as we get into more work going on Highway 42, we know that people are going to cut down Oakland and cut down that neighborhood, go down John Broussard and all, and they're going to use that turning lane. The goal was to get that done before this work gets started. So we got to lean on people and make sure, that one especially, Brown Road is a new subdivision. But this other highway is going to get hit harder and harder, and that's why we push it from the very beginning, because people are going to start coming out there, and with the school being to the left, people are going to make a left turn, and that traffic's going to back all the way up Oakland. So we know it's coming, so we got to push that. Where do we stand on Seabro, and what is the timeline on that one?
Seabro, again, that one is local funding for that, so as quick as we can move along with that. I think we're at 60% finals. Let me make sure here. No, they turned in just beyond that. Yep, 70% was turned in, so. Moving right along.
I've got a couple more questions for you. The 930 road transfer, are we complete? Did we get everything from the state? 'Cause I know we sent them some redesign work, and we were waiting to get some information back. Where do we stand?
So we have that, it's been sent to the Office of Contracts in the Division of Administration. From my understanding, it's been through the hurdles and it's into the final clearances. That's what the email I read, that's what it sounded like to me. So I don't think it'll be long now before the administrative stuff is done. What we've been doing on our side is we tasked one of our consultants to take the work that DOTD did and make it ours. Okay, so we had to, in order for the parish to let that, as y'all remember, came to you guys and told you we had to claim it as our own. So they're looking at the redesign. They're going to sign and stamp them, and then we're going to put that into the big construction schedule we're working on for that area.
Is there anything that we can do to speed that process up?
No. I mean, it's moving as fast as we can move it right now. Again, the utility relocations are gonna it's gonna be the most important thing. So I'll keep you guys apprised, and if we need any help with on that front, we'll let you know. I know Dempsey, you got a lot of stroke with some of these utility companies. So.
Yeah.
Bending on.
So, my next one, the Parker Road 929 roundabout. Where do we stand on that? I know it's another state, federal highway issue.
I think we're in 90%. We're getting close to going into final right of way on that. It's not through CRPC. Going to talk to DOTD about seeing if we can bump that up and put that in it's safety funding is what we're getting, the $1 million from DOTD. So hopefully we get that done soon and we can get it bumped up. And I think if you're in before October, if you do a request before October to DOTD, you can put it if they have room.
So are we waiting on design work for that?
No, they're going through and finishing up the final design and getting into, I think, the right-of-way, looking at utilities as well as the pipelines and shoring up those contracts, the Shell pipeline.
I know we just sent out a letter on that, okay.
Yeah, and then some of the other utilities, I think DIMCO, we're waiting on DIMCO to move some of their lines. We hadn't had some the responses we'd like from them, but so I think it's moving forward, though. So nothing really holding it up. It's just, simple project. It's just taking a little while because of the review time.
I mean, it seems like it's been like 7 years.
I think it's been longer than that.
Longer than that, yeah.
Longer than that,
It's been longer than that.
Yeah, so it's just,
Like nine.
finally, Henry Road. I mean, this is part of the impetus on me saying, hey, let's see how we're going to handle the contractors from here on out, because this one has been delayed. Where do we stand on that? I mean, this is a extremely important road. We have so many school buses go on it. Not just me, but we have people from multiple districts that come down that road.
Yes, sir.
And we hear about it all the time. Where do we stand on that? Why is this taking so long?
Yeah, so March will be complete with final design. We'll have review time on that, but I'm fairly sure H&TB can get that turned around, and we'll have it completed by March. They'll, like I said, the right-of-way has begun as far as the groundwork. They'll be able to go through that.
Why can't they get this done in February?
We're going to have a meeting, I think Thursday, with the consultant, and we'll see if that can happen.
I mean, I thought our contract was through February,
It was through December.
through December.
We
That's,
we extended it. We had, again, we had some changes and some alignment issues, but we're gonna try to shave off a month or month and a half off that schedule they've given us. So I think we can do it.
okay.
And, but,
One of the things that we'll be coming to you and your department with is some sort of objective standard to start a grading system, and we've talked about this at the last council meeting, a grading system for all of our contractors, because some of them I know have really knocked it out of the park and sped things along. They were ahead of schedule and less concern. Others, you know, we're behind schedule on, and we got to make sure that this work is for the people of Ascension, and we need to reward those contractors and get them more business. If they're the ones that are getting their jobs done early, that means the people of the parish are getting their work done early.
yes.
So we have to find a way to, you know, have an objective standard that we can go in and say, look, you got your work done early, you got it in under budget, there were less overruns, whatever it may be during construction. I know it's a long-term process, but it's something I'd like us to take a look at, and I understand that it's done by DOTD. I've looked into other states, they have similar grading processes, so we need to do something like that.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Absolutely. I'll get with you and see some of that information you've got. I'd love to see it. Maybe get a starting point for that. So.
Okay. Any other questions?
Highway 3127. We're going to setting up a meeting with
Probably
DOTD
cancel
probably
that.
next week with that. So I wanted to remind you to ask me about it, but you forgot. So
We had the meeting with DOTD.
we need to have another meeting with them and our consultant to finalize that the scoping for the termini of the.
Yeah,
If you recall that
or
technical.
where to come out on Highway 1.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You good with
I
that?
won't forget about you, Bill. I'll remind you about things, so.
Thank you.
Okay.
Certainly need it.
I think that's all we have, unless you have anything else to
I
add.
do, I have one more thing,
Go
if you
ahead.
don't mind. I'm meeting with consultant next, this week, to discuss developing a neighborhood traffic calming, well, not just neighborhood traffic calming, but two separate documents, neighborhood traffic calming measures and parish-wide traffic calming measures, to really help us develop a process and how to really work with the public on that, especially in the neighborhoods. There's a lot of people that call and think people need to stop at a three-way stop that's going to help, slow people down and throw up a stop sign. It's not the way you do things. And so we're going to have someone come in that's done this before. Baton Rouge has similar standards, and see how we can have a creative process to really work with the constituents to see what level help they need. So going to be looking forward to seeing how that comes out.
That'll be
Keep you
good.
guys updated.
Appreciate that.
Okay, moving on to item number 8, Resolution ENG-19-100, commitment from LRSP project application for Ascension Parish. Stacy Rabelais.
Yes, sir. So there's federal safety dollars that we've been allowed to hire Gresham Smith to help us go after these safety funds. These funds there's 2 pots of money that are listed in these next 4 resolutions. The first one is LRSP, which stands for Local Routes to Safe Places. I'm sorry, let me get it right. Local Road Safety Program, I'm sorry. And the second one is, let's see, SRTTP, I just want to make sure I'm telling you correct. And that one is Safe Routes to Public Places. So there's 2 different pots of money that that we're able to access, hopefully within the next coming year. And as I said, we've been allowed to hire Gresham Smith, who has expertise in qualifying for these 2 pots of money. The first resolution is for Ascension Parish-owned routes between us. And this resolution will allow the parish president to sign the application for Ascension Parish roads, these applications. And I've listed those, or the resolution has them listed, I'm sorry. There at the bottom, it's Joseph Area Road, Norwood Road, South St. Landry Avenue, Cannon, Post Office Road, West Worthy Road, and Tebow Drive.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Johnson, a second by Councilman Lambert. Take it easy on me, thank you. Any discussion? Any objection? None, so moved. Item number
sorry.
9.
Go ahead. So this resolution is to allow the Ascension Parish to support the city of Gonzales projects within the city limits. Those would be on South St. Landry, West Worthy Road, and North Coolidge Avenue.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Johnson, a second by Councilman Lambert. Let me just say, none of these are requiring the parish to pay.
Yes, that's correct.
Making it clear for the public.
We will have, this won't cost the parish
No matching
anything, will be,
fund.
it'll be 100% fully funded, so,
Correct.
by the Fed.
Any discussion? Any further discussion? None? Any objection? None, so moved. We'll skip number 10, go to 11. No. Item number 10.
This is for the city of Donaldsonville, and those projects are for Railroad Avenue, Division Street, and Tebow Drive.
Second.
Got a motion.
It took him half a second to figure it out.
Well, he's trying to think about what is the cost benefit on this. A motion by Councilman Dempsey Lambert, a second by Councilman Dawson. Any discussion? None. Any objections? None. So moved. Item number 11.
And this is also for the city of Donaldsonville.
Move to approve.
Motion by Councilman Dawson, a second by Councilman Dempsey Lambert. Any discussion? None. Any objections? None. So moved. Item number 12.
All night.
Got a motion and a second to adjourn. Thank y'all very much.